Have you ever wondered why people think so differently about money? Why do some believe saving is the only way to wealth, while others swear by investing? Why do some think debt is so dangerous, while others use it to build fortunes for life? Right? The answer here is our money beliefs come from two major influences. So we'll try to understand one by one here. Imagine five imagine five blind men touching different parts of an elephant, as the image shows. One touches the trunk and says an elephant is like a snake. Another touches the leg and says no, it's a tree trunk. The third touches the ear and believes it is a fan. And the fourth touches the tail and think it's like a rope. And last one touches the side and calls it a wall. So who is right here? Technically, all of them are right, and technically, all of them are wrong. But also, none of and also we need to understand that this is all about perspectives. This is exactly how we learn about money as well in the real world. We form our financial beliefs based on limited experiences, but often it's not the complete truth. It's all about half truths, and these half truths are called perspectives, right? And next influence, this is a slide. There's a Chinese saying which says three men make a tiger. If one person says that there's a tiger in your neighborhood, you may not believe it. If two people come and say that there's a tiger in your neighborhood, you may doubt yourself. But if a third person comes and says that there's a tiger in your neighborhood, you will run for life. This is how financial programming works. If enough people around you come and say that investing is risky, you should always buy a house, that is bad, you begin to believe it without even questioning it. The problem here is not everything we are taught about money is true. Herd mentality comes into picture. So the perspectives what you have gathered shape how you view money. In the programming what you have received reinforces what you believe about money. Together they form your financial habits, they form your financial behaviors, and they form your financial beliefs. If you want to change your financial life, you must first examine your perspectives and programming. So are your money beliefs truly yours, or were they just inherited? Many of us have inherited money beliefs, okay, hands down. But from where? First money lessons didn't come from school books or YouTube, they came from home. Okay, your first money classroom was your home, and your first money teachers were your parents. Long before you earned your first paycheck, you have already learned about money, but not through direct lessons. Okay, there was no classroom lessons happening. You inherited your money beliefs, you inherited your money fears, and you inherited money habits from how money was communicated at home. Yep. How parents communicated money emotionally, the way your parents reacted to money situation shaped your subconscious money beliefs. So did they stress about money? Did they have calmness around money? All these things comes into picture. These emotional cues might have become your default money mindset, right? Now next one is how parents communicated money verbally, how they spoke about money. Words matter, right? The things your parents said about money or didn't say about money programmed your money beliefs again. Did they speak about money openly? Did they think money was a taboo subject and money shouldn't be discussed at home, right? And they never discussed about money at home or with each other, spouses. Okay, the way money was talked about or not talked about at home shaped the way you think about money today. Think about this. So, in emotional communication, there are two types of communication: the calm communication, and the next is the stressed communication. So, the calm communication, stressed communication. And in verbal communication, there are two types again: the closed communication and open communication. Closed communication is all about not talking about money, and open communication are it's about being money extrovert. They talk about money openly. So these four communications create four types of money homes. It creates four quadrants of money homes. We'll understand one by one. And first is the anxious money home. Here it is about closed communication and stressed communication, right? So here the money was never openly discussed, but it was always a source of stress at home. Okay. The second home is the unstable home, wherein there was open communication and stressed communication. Money was openly discussed, but in a very stressful and chaotic way. There was a lot of arguments around money. The third home is an unaware home where there is closed communication and there is calm communication. Money was never a problem here, but it was also never discussed. I belong to this home. Okay. And the last is the stable home, the open communication and calm communication. Money was openly discussed in a calm and structured way. Okay. But here's the big question: how does each money home shape your financial challenges as an adult? That is the agenda of this. And what can you do to move towards a stable financial environment? Okay, so let's break it down. So challenges of a anxious home where the communication is closed and stressed. So here no financial talks and the fear about money is high. Money was never openly discussed, but you always felt it was a source of stress. So what happens as an adult? You avoid looking at your bank balance. You feel guilty or fearful when spending money. Even on essentials, you are fearful about spending money. You struggle with financial decisions because you were never taught how to make them. Yep. So here the key takeaway is overcoming money anxiety starts with financial awareness and education. This complete video is all about that. Okay. The next challenges of unstable home, wherein there is open communication, stressed communication, complete conflict zone, and apathetic about money. Money was always discussed, but in a very chaotic and stressful way. There are a lot of arguments about money. So, what happens as an adult who is grown in this home? You see money as a source of fights and stress. You may completely detach from finances because it reminds you of the family conflicts where you were born. Okay. And you feel like money is something to tolerate, not something to master. Very important. Here, the key takeaway is reframe your relationship with money. See it as a tool, not as a battlefield. Okay, it is not a Kurukshetra, it's a tool. Next is challenges of unaware home, wherein close and calm communication. Here, ignorance and feeling betrayed, and money wasn't stressful, but it was never talked about. What happens as an adult here? You feel financially clueless because you were never taught how money works. You experience financial culture shock when faced with real world money challenges. Yep. You may even feel betrayed, like your parents never prepared you for financial responsibility. Right? Here, the key takeaway is financial ignorance isn't your fault, but staying ignorant is a choice. So start learning today. This course is all about that. And number four, challenges of the stable home where there is open communication and calm communication. Underestimating and feeling entitled. Okay, you grew up in a home where money was handled well, but that can lead to hidden challenges. There's no direct challenges, there are hidden challenges. What happens as an adult? You might underestimate financial risk because things were always under control growing up. Okay, and you might feel entitled to a good financial life without putting in the effort to build it. And you may not realize that your parents' stability was built through years of effort and discipline. So these are some challenges of stable home as well. Here, the key takeaway is don't assume money will always be easy. So you also need to stay disciplined and you also need to be proactive about money, right? See, the path to a stable home is important. No matter where your home from grew up in, your goal should be to create a stable home for yourself and your family. Have an open and calm money conversation. Have confidence in financial decision making and have a balanced mindset, not too anxious, not too careless, right? Because financial stability isn't just about money, it's about mindset, it's about habits and communication. And some key points to remember here: Number one is have grace. Don't be angry on your parents on what they taught about money to you. It was their programming from their parents which created the money home for you. So don't be angry, have grace, and move forward on what can be done now. Okay, that is more important. And next is your childhood doesn't define who you are today. You can change, and that was the primary agenda of this complete video.